there, everyone. I'm Ashley Bullington, and welcome into the Campfire. This week, we are deep diving into 26A, and we have some really great teams to be introducing you to in our film session.
26A is the Fort Bend ISD district, with the exception of George Ranch, and the Longhorns may have what it takes to take the title. George Ranch will be attempting to settle their games in the trenches, as they have a strong running game led by speedy Hyman Drinkard. They will have to get past Ridgepoint if they want to win district, as the Panthers are not only defending champs, but also defending regional finalists. Second-year head coach Rick LaFavors returns Bert Emanuel Jr. at quarterback, and he's backed by a solid offensive and defensive line. Fort Bend Travis could make some noise in the district as well, as they return quarterback Anthony Njoku, and he'll have his favorite target back, Marcus Cretin. If Bush is to make it to playoffs, they will be relying on athlete Adam Cormier, who was first-team All-District last year. The Broncos also have D'Antonio Hackworth and Preston Davis returning as All-District defensive players. Elkins has one of the most intimidating defensive linemen returning in Turin Crawford, who had 6 sacks last year. Dulles returns an all-district running back in Devin Graham as they try to squeeze into the playoff picture. Austin has one of the best young defensive backs in the district with Jamal Franklin, and Clements will be relying on playmaker Patrick Smith to help them get some wins.
Like I said, some really great teams with some good competition in 26A, but those teams are stacked with phenomenal talent. Let's see who some of them are and our players on the rise.
At George Ranch, Hyman Drinkard is the swift back that makes the Longhorns offense go. Drinkard ran for 735 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. With a ground-based offense this year, look for more production out of the senior. As a sophomore, he ran for 1,000 yards and 12 scores, as he's a blur when he gets through the first level. Drinkard has mid-major interest from Illinois State and Texas Southern. Bert Emanuel Jr. led Ridgepoint to a regional final last year and wants to go even further this year. He's a dual-threat quarterback who threw for 1,400 yards and 16 touchdowns last year to go with over 500 yards on the ground. He was first-team All-District last year and Newcomer of the Year as a sophomore. Plus, Bert has the pedigree. His father was a quarterback at Rice and played receiver in the NFL. Another big-time quarterback in the district is Travis signal caller Anthony Njoku. Like Emanuel Jr., Anthony is a dangerous dual threat. He threw for just about 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns while rushing for 458 yards and 8 more scores. Njoku was a unanimous first-team All-District selection last year, and this summer had a strong showing in our quarterback challenge. Calvin Harvey is a large human being on the offensive line for the Ridgepoint Panthers. He is a massive 6'8" and 330 pounds as he holds down the offensive tackle spot at Ridgepoint. The most scary thing about Harvey is he only started playing football last year, so the senior still has much to learn. Despite his limited playing experience, Harvey has offers from SMU, Houston, and North Texas, but should see that ramp up during the year.
Awesome. These players are so great in 26A. I mean, Houston in general is stacked with talent, and this talent is led by some really great head coaches. We bring in the George Ranch head man, Nick Cavallo, in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day, 26A. We're talking to George Ranch head coach, Nick Cavallo. Coach, man, I know you don't like me talking too much about last year, but you had such a good end to the season where you won 4 out of 5, your last 5 games, and then to have that forfeit happen to you. How hard was it to tell your players, you know, all the work they did to make the postseason, you know, and you had to give up that first game?
Man, well, first of all, thank you for having me on today. Really appreciate you and all that you guys do for high school football here in Texas. You know, it was tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of the toughest things, the toughest thing as a head coach that I've ever had to do. Sit there and talk to, you know, those 40, 50 kids that were here at that day and everything, and just look at their eyes and see the dreams and everything. And it was tough, man. Like I said, just obviously us as coaches, we want to go on and we want to play, but really at the end of the day, I have a chance for another season, and the younger guys do. But those 42 seniors that we had, they never really got a true end to their season.
For people that haven't had their eyes on 26A last year for whatever reasons, talk to them a little bit about them Drinkard boys. They seem like they something else on that squad.
Yeah, definitely. Hyman will be a senior. Again, he's a kid that's been playing for 3 years. He's a kid that we feel that we have several other offensive weapons, but he's really an old school back where, you can give him the ball 30 times a game, and he's just going to wear you down, pound on you. Big thing that we saw last year and we're excited to build on and seeing so far this offseason is his speed development. And then his brother, we got a sophomore kid that's probably play a little backup quarterback for us, play a little receiver, could play a little DB. So we're excited. Their work ethic is huge.
Awesome. Should be fun to watch, and I appreciate you joining us. Can't wait for the season to start, August 26th. Let's get it going.
All right, thank you.
Coach Cavallo, thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire. You can catch the entire interview with the George Ranch head man on our social media accounts Thursday. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube that will be streaming on. Now we bring in the Inside High School Sports Insider, Matt Harris, for the District Breakdown.
All righty, it's District Breakdown time. Matt Harris is with us. We're talking 26A, a lot of Fort Bend teams plus George Ranch. Talk about what you see happening in this district in 2021.
Yeah, all those Fort Bend teams plus George Ranch, but George Ranch had a pretty good year. 5-4 overall, but 4-1 in district play with the lone loss to Ridge Point, I believe. And the sad thing here is didn't advance in the playoffs. They had to forfeit due to COVID issues in round 1 against Katy Taylor, who they lost to in non-district play 26-14. They've got an interesting situation here at quarterback. They graduate quarterback Sam Miller, who was a full-time starter, but quarterback Cole Murphy will take over for him after getting a good amount of experience last season. They also lose wide receiver Javon Gibson, but they return running back Hyman Drinkard. So they're very half and half in terms of offensive talent, what they lose, what they return. And I expect George Ranch to be right back in the middle of this, in the thick of it for this district. Now, of course, Ridge Point won it at 4-0 in district play. They did the whole Region 1, Region 2 kind of district thing where you didn't play every team in the district due to COVID. That'll change this year, of course. But 8-3 in Ridge Point for Ridge Point last year. Really successful year. Lost to North Shore in round 5, or round 4, I should say, 56-14. But of course, North Shore is North Shore, defending state champs at the time. And anytime you can make it to a state quarterfinals, it's a great year. So, and they return a lot of talent. Bert Emanuel Jr. at quarterback, Azell Jolly at running back, Marvin Session is back at wide receiver, and defensive newcomer of the year for the district, Taylor Davis, returns as well. So I like Ridge Point to win this district once again.
The thing about Njaku is you got that twin brother that you cannot tell them apart until you see that right arm start gunning passes around. Then you can definitely tell them apart. But that 26A is going to be a heck of a district, especially with 8 teams. So can't wait to see how that plays out. I appreciate you joining us. We're going to talk 21-6A next week. I have a feeling you're going to have some things to say about North Shore. So we will talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire. Great insight, as always, Matt, into this 26A district. That's all we have for this week's episode. Come back every Monday for a new show, but we are getting close to Inside High School Sports starting soon, and we are so excited for it. But until next time, I'm Ash Bullington, and thank you for watching the Campfire.